Hey, 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 welcome to On the Fringe. And it's me, Gavin, with my good friend Dave. Say hello
Hey
to the people,
everybody.
Dave. Hey,
Hey
man.
everybody. It's right around Christmas time, isn't it, Gavin?
It is. Merry Christmas and soon to be a Happy New Year.
Yes.
Yes,
Do we
yes,
have
yes.
a do we have a Christmas miracle over in India, Gavin,
We
from
do. We do.
ChatGPT and OpenAI?
I think we do. I mean, I feel like we mentioned this on the pod already, but it's 100% something worth going back to. And today we're going to break down an interesting story that has largely not been talked about, at least in the West. So, on November 4th, 2025, OpenAI made ChatGPT Go available at no cost for 12 months for what it describes as eligible users in India who sign up during a limited time promotional period. So
Ooh.
basically, a year after November 4th. Um, and if you're on ChatGPT, the website, if you're on Google Play Store, if you're on Apple App Store, this is now available. Now, on paper, and certainly the way that they're spinning it, it's this rather humanitarian move to share the largesse of their AI LLM model with the Indian public. What it's actually doing is trying to create a user-friendly environment in the world's most populous country,
Hmm.
and specifically a platform-friendly environment. So the way I envision this is ChatGPT is trying to get people hooked onto their product and create a situation when they do raise fees or they turn fees on for the subscription. People will essentially be in a position of being forced to pay those fees because they have become dependent. Does this seem like a reasonable interpretation, Dave?
Yeah, I would say that's probably somewhat accurate. I don't know exactly what they're trying to do long term, but they're definitely trying to get more users. The company's
Mm,
lost a lot of money and they're still in the red from what I know. But
yeah.
they are following, from what it looks like, the Adobe model.
Ooh.
And
Tell us
for you
about that,
guys,
Dave.
for you guys, I've used the Adobe suite of products to edit the first three seasons of On the Fringe. And I signed up for it a couple years ago. It was 18 bucks when I was a grad
Mm,
student. And then they moved it up to $39. And this is a month, $18 a month. Okay, I can do that. $39 a month. That kind of hurts, but I can still do it. $69 a month is more than my phone bill. And I'm not going to pay $69 a month for editing software. So I am kicking
yeah.
Adobe to the curb. And I think a lot of people, if you use Adobe or if you are very adept, you've used Adobe for a long time, well, Adobe knows that you're pretty much dependent on them and you don't want to go back and learn a new software and learn how to re-edit and learn how to redevelop images and things like that. So I'm moving forward and I'm finding another product and we're going to use that moving forward. But they're following a similar model in India, is my guess. They're going to get people hooked and then they're gradually going to raise the price when people are more dependent. And then who knows, you might have Google or you might have Grok or somebody else come in and they might take away some of this market share from ChatGPT.
Mm.
But ultimately, they're trying to get users hooked, like Gavin was saying, and get them dependent on using AI for doing tasks and for helping them improve their lives.
And again, they're doing it in the most populous market in the world. India, I can attest from personal experience, is a very connected place. Phone ownership, specifically smartphone ownership, is definitely the norm. So we're talking about potentially hundreds of millions of customers And starting off with no fees and then slowly ratcheting it up over time would allow them to address what you mentioned earlier, Dave, which is the very significant cash flow issues that
Hmm.
OpenAI is currently experiencing. I mean, this is one of the sort of great economic booms, um, but also something that increasingly looks like a great economic bubble.
Yeah.
And
Makes
trying to
tulips makes tulips look like a pretty rosy picture, to be perfectly frank here.
and to mix your floral metaphors. Um, yeah. So in order to allay, I think, shareholder concerns and investor concerns, they are looking towards that word that should scare anyone that has information on that website. They're looking towards non-conventional methods of raising liquidity. And this is definitely one of them. Um, so yeah. So for the next 12 months, this is going to be free. If you're in India and you sign up for it, it's a totally free model at the moment. I sincerely doubt it will stay that way. And whether or not they're able to get the level of dependency I think they're looking for remains to be seen.
Yeah,
I anecdotally, I don't know how many people have actually signed up for this. I don't know how many people it brought onto OpenAI. But it is certainly an interesting move, and I think a move that will have serious ramifications for the company going forward.
definitely. Definitely. And I mean, these guys have committed in the next 8 to 10 years to 1.4 trillion with a T, $1 trillion in infrastructure. They're working with SoftBank,
Wow.
Oracle, and MGX. They're looking at building Stargate, huge data centers. So ChatGPT and OpenAI are not going to be just something that you have on your phone. It's going to be something that you have everywhere with you. And
Yep.
long term, they're trying to make the algorithms more personal. And if you go back to like the early 2000s when I think it was Mac said the computer's personal again, this was one of their marketing campaigns.
Mm,
I mean, this is going to be the algorithm is personal and the algorithm stays personal. So these guys are obviously out there trying to get as much data about their users as they can.
yep.
And I mean, I think for them, you're saying India is a huge market, it's the world's most populous country. I mean, the US and the EU have strict privacy laws and data protection laws. And I would think in India, it's probably not nearly as strict as in these other countries. So they can essentially build what they're wanting to build over there, test it out, and see what works and see what doesn't. And it's a huge pull for them potentially if they can get even a few. I would think even $1 or $2 per user per month over there, something that Indian
Yeah.
people, especially since it's a growing country, they're going to be willing to pay it moving forward. It's just cash coming in every single month. You talked about it
Yeah.
earlier. They're having liquidity problems. This is a way for them to get cash every single month if you have a dependent population that is essentially using ChatGPT for everything, which is kind of
Mm.
their pie in the sky. But who knows? It might happen.
It might happen, and we'll have our eye on the prize here in
Hmm.
the new year, letting you know what's going on in the world.
Hang on, Gavin. I got to go find my tinfoil hat. I've got a little red and white on there too because it's Christmas.
Because it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Of course, it's Christmas.
Yay.
Go slap on that hat, Dave. Tell
Well,
us what's on your mind.
I think in the next 5 to 10 years, the idea of ownership is going to fall apart, and you're
Mm,
essentially going to be paying digital rents for things. I mean, you already have it for subscriptions for Netflix, for Apple Music. You'll be paying for ChatGPT. You're going to be paying for essentially everything. And yeah, I mean, you can live without it, but I think people are going to be just dependent. And oh, I love having this huge library of stuff, and subscriptions are going to become the norm for virtually everything that we have. And if you are using AI not as a tool, but as a replacement, you're going to be paying a lot more for these subscriptions, and you're essentially going to be putting yourself into a position where you will be replaced by something else, potentially even the AI bot. So use your brain, use it as a tool, and don't be dumb.
Please. And on that note, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from On the Fringe. Please like, comment, or subscribe, or do all three.
Yes,
Um, we'd like it if you do all three.
we
It'd
would.
be
That's
really nice.
maybe
It'd be,
a longer list than Santa Claus has, but we would really appreciate it.
we really would. Anyways, Dave, you know what I'm gonna say next.
Merry Christmas.
Hit the button.